We become blind to our true identities when we compare ourselves to others. This is Mr. Cage with another thought of the day. And when we say blind, we're not speaking literally, but we're speaking figuratively. There are people on the planet Earth that are sleepwalking through life. These people are not living, they're existing because they have yet to discover their true identity. The word discover, if we break it up, is discover, means to uncover. When a person has an experience, an encounter that removes the veil and removes the blinder, now that individual can see. But what occurs and what we experience is comparison. Comparison is associated with pride and competition. So let me give you an example from my life. There has been times where you will consider me driving a hoopty or a car that's not a sports car, a car that's not a vehicle that a person will see me drive on, or a vehicle that's fancy. So I pull up to a light and I look to my left and I see a car, which is my dream car, the Challenger, to my left-hand side. If I'm walking in comparison and competition, insecurity comes to the surface. And sometimes subconsciously, we find ourselves in comparison to others, and that brings up insecurity, which blinds us to our true identity because we're looking at what someone else has, not understanding, number one, how they arrived at the place to obtain that item. Did they obtain that item legally? Or are they struggling financially to maintain an item that's really maintaining an image that's associated with a false identity? There are times when we envy individuals, and because we don't know the individual intimately, we don't know the process that that person took, we don't know what's in their bank account, we don't know what their car note is, we don't know what their house payment is, nor should we. But we find ourselves entangled in the realm of blindness because we looking and comparing, not understanding if that person is truly possessing his or her possessions, or has that possession possessed them. Word to the wise. If that be the case, and I see somebody that has something that I want, I need to ask them in humility for some advice. Brother, how did you arrive at that point? What was the steps? How much did you save? How much did you put down? What's your credit score? And sometimes we will find, and I'm not saying to look for this, but it does happen. Sometimes what we think a person really has is not what it seems. And we entangle, again, the word is entangle. We entangle ourselves and we find ourselves in some circles, we call it sweating from the brow, exerting a lot of energy, working in bondage or slavery to something that we shouldn't have because we skipped the process because we compared ourselves to others. Mr. Cage's thought of the day: we become blind to our true identities when we compare ourselves to others. We become blind because that experience, that perception that we have doesn't really allow us to see who we are, what we have, and who and what we should be grateful for.